Okay, let's get underway. Welcome to F1ABEEZ Formula 2 Round 4 at Bahrain. Got a nice packed grid tonight, 17 drivers, always lovely to see. So it should be Sebs who will be the first person to set a lap. I think he's new, I haven't seen him. Just going down the list of people who I've seen. I think I've seen everyone here. Lamb Royale I haven't. That is an incredible name though. That's the only Battle Royale I play with, a bit of Lamb Royale. Yeah, everyone else, and I think this Raz guy I haven't seen either. So 3 out of 17 are new from my knowledge. So it'll be interesting to see how they are on pace, but obviously I think we're going to see the usual suspects up there towards the top. We've got Hypes back, who's certainly going to be pushing for a pole position. The likes of Harvey's always quick if he can keep it on the track. QWERTY, as we've seen, early contender for the championship. And on their day as well, especially on the opposite strategy, the likes of Travis, the Juicy, have shown pace as well as Trick Pines. So we'll see what they can do, but we will hop on board with Sebs, who will set the first flying lap of the session. I can't remember off the top of my head what the optimum lap time is around Bahrain and F2. I think it's the high 38s or 39s. Could be wrong, but we'll find out. So not an awful first chicane there by Sebs. We've got a spinning car. That might be Gym and Tonic, I think. Can optimise a little bit more on his exit speeds, but he sets a 31.7 for the first sector. Let's hop on board quickly with Lamb Royale to see what his first sector is. He sets a 31.9. Sebs has a little bit of a moment there in the slow left-hander. I think he just messes up his braking zone going off the track there, and that's pretty much his lap over. Doesn't manage to invalidate somehow, but it's not going to be a competitive lap time at all from him. So we'll hop on board instead with Lamb Royale to see what he can do on his first lap. You can make up a lot of time on that long right-hander in the F2 cars, depending on how people take it. Some people like to go in slowly and then put their foot on the accelerator towards the end, but you can actually do it without pretty much, like tapping on the brakes and the accelerator. You just brake hard and then just carry the accelerator through the corner. I found that that's the fastest way, and you can gain almost about 6 or 7 tenths on someone who decides to, just full-on slam on the brakes. But Lamb Royale is going to set a 41.2, so actually only 9 milliseconds quick. Oh, sorry, 11 milliseconds quicker than Sebs, who we saw have that moment. Just see who's next. It might be Gym and Tonic, actually. Yeah, it is. In the Prema. I'm expecting someone to get into the 38s or 39s. We'll see what Gym and Tonic sets. It looks like he might be in the 40s, which he is. 140.7, good enough for provisional pole at the moment. I doubt he'll stay provisional pole for that much longer. Night Fever is starting his lap. There's a yellow flag. I think that's just Seb slowing down. It's going to be Hypes who's up next, who I've certainly got favourite to get pole and the feature win. And he's looking like he is on a good lap at the moment for his first lap. Let's see what he can set. Is he in the 38s or is he in the 39s? It's going to be a 139.1. It's absolutely smashing the competition at the moment. That's 1.6 seconds quicker than anyone else who has set a lap. QWERTY is coming around to set his out lap. He's finishing that onto his hot lap now. We're going to see Plazy come around the corner. I think he's around about a second and a half down, so I think we're going to see him around those mid 140s. No, actually, I'm wrong. 139.8. 7 tenths down on ZC Hype, so decent lap from Plazy. Not that close to the front runner at the moment, but that's a pretty solid time at the moment, certainly for his first run with a 139.8. I think we've got Replica on an outlap, Lam Royale and Sebs. I think that's them coming around the final corner now, coming into the pits. So let's try and find out who is on a lap. It might be Night Fever, who's just got past Jim and Tonic, who hopefully has let him go by without any fuss. So from the looks of it, from what I saw, you want to get to the final corner when you're around about the 129 mark, which is kind of what ZC Hypes was setting for that low 39. So let's see what Night Fever can do. It doesn't look like he's going to get near that point, so he's going to be around those 140s to 141s. There's yellow flags everywhere. I think that's just drivers slowing down to let fast drivers through, and yet there you go, he's at the slowest time at the moment, 141.4. Let's hop on board with, it might be is it Replica who's next on a lap? I think it is, unless, no, it's QWERTY, I think. Yeah, it's QWERTY coming down the penultimate straight now. He's going to come up to the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he's setting. It's actually looking like a fairly decent time from QWERTY. If he can nail this final corner, doesn't get the optimum amount of exit speed, but I think it's still going to be a pretty solid lap from QWERTY. It might even be in the 38s. It is in the 138s, 138.7. I think certainly from my point of view, he can gain more time just from that last corner alone. So there you go. 4/10 quicker than ZC Hypes on the first run. So very nice lap there from QWERTY. Let's hop on board with Replica Gaming in the Campos car and Jack Aitken's car. He doesn't look like he's going to be disturbing those guys at the top, and he's probably going to be around that bottom sort of 141s from the looks of it. Harley's just behind him on an outlap. He'll get a nice tow down this pit lane straight now. Yep, and he is the only driver in the 142s, 142.3. I think that's everyone else pretty much on their cooldown lap, apart from Harley at the moment. Unless there's anyone doing any back-to-backs, but I don't think there will be. That's Lewis DeBeast behind him as well, who's just crossed the line to start his hot lap. Still got yellow flags, have absolutely no idea why, because there's no drivers who have slowed down really. On day 17 for his first sector time. Just checking, I think everyone is on the medium tyres, yep. So I believe the sprint is 12 laps this week, and I think the feature is either 16 or 18 laps. I want to say 18. Bahrain F2 I think is a little bit more forgiving than Bahrain F1. See Replica going wide there, but he's on his in lap. He's actually disconnected, so he's not going to get out of the way of Harley there, which is quite disappointing for Harley. That's pretty much his lap over, but there's not much that Replica could have done about that, so I think it'll be quite harsh if he gets a penalty for that. But as I was saying, yeah, I think Bahrain F2 is a lot more forgiving than Bahrain F1. The curbs, especially once you cross that sector 1 line into sector 2, that downhill section is absolutely unforgiving in the F1 cars. You know, you even take a little bit of curb, you can be sent speeding. Obviously with these F2 cars, you're travelling at, you know, probably a third of the pace that you are in an F1 car. As we see Harley actually still go P4 despite getting blocked, so not an awful lap at all from him. I think we're going to see Lewis DeBeast cross the line now, see what lap time he can set. He goes third, 139.6, so another good lap in the mid 139s. But as I keep, as Replica lags out, but as I keep saying, as I keep interrupting myself, yeah, it's, I think Bahrain F2 is a nice track for F2 cars. I've always enjoyed racing around here in F2 cars. Sebs is now doing a back-to-back lap on those mediums. I need to send Replica an invite. What's his gamer tag? Replica Gaming 3. Let's invite him to the game. So just check I haven't missed anyone setting their laps. No, I haven't. I think it's actually going to be Trick Pines. Replica is back in. Lovely to see. So presumably, if this is the first runs and QWERTY set at 138.7, I'd expect pole time to be a low 38. honestly. I'm very tempted to go check what my time in Bahrain was that I set. You know what, while watching that, we're going to do that. Let me find it. And I didn't even get pole. Let's have a look while we're waiting. So we're going to see Trip Pines, who I think is in absolutely no position to really get up there in the board as it stands. Let's hop back on board with Seps. Twitch streams, Formula 2, Season 9. Bahrain. So the difference was this is one-shot quali. Obviously one-shot quali is a little bit different in terms of pace than full qualifying. Because obviously full qualifying you can be a bit faster because you know the track's worn down. Pole time there was a 1:38.6, and that's obviously in one shot. So in terms of a first lap pace, that's actually a really strong lap from QWERTY. So fair play to him. I didn't actually realise how good of a lap that was at the beginning. So we've got Raz setting a 140.7 going up into 8th. I'd like to see a few more drivers certainly in the high 138s or low 139s. We've still got loads of drivers who have yet to set a lap. I think Trick Pines might have just abandoned that first lap, or is doing the good old IRL Mercedes strategy of doing 2 warm-up laps. We'll see what he can do in the ART. We've obviously got the 2 HWT cars who are going to wait probably to like the last 6-7 minutes like they usually do each week. Plazy's having trouble with his internet at the moment. Harvey and Matty also in the Carlins not setting that up, but Matty is on his outlap now. Let's see what Trick Pines has set, looking like a 140. It is a 140.2, puts him P6. Not a bad lap. Probably still a little bit more pace in there to find from him. See who else is on a lap. Is Lam Royale on a lap? He is 7 seconds down, so that's not a fast lap. What about Raz? He's on his in lap as well. Trick Pines is on his in lap, which means we will watch Matty. 2 Carlins who on their day, and you know, don't spin, have very good pace in these F2 cars. As we saw last week in Monza, they both do like a spin and they both do like a collision. But let's see over 1 lap pace what they can do. So this yellow flag thing is just a glitch, which is annoying because I can't see how long is left in the session. There we go, 15 minutes. I caught it for a glimpse of it for a second. And he sets a 1:31.8, so not exactly the best sector 1 time, and a little bit of a struggle there through the downhill section, jumping on the curb, losing his back end a touch. Gets the braking zone all wrong down the back left as well. A lot of people got to realise, especially those who run line, as Matty's going to try and get a little bit of a slipstream off Trick Pines, is that I don't know if they actually make the excuse me, I don't know if they actually make the braking lines for F2 cars or if they just use the F1 ones, because a lot of the time they're wrong. A lot of the time you can brake so much later than the line suggests you can, or you have to brake so much earlier. And what I found with that slow left-hander is it's always best to brake earlier. You know, with F2 cars the rule is, you know, go in slow, come out fast. That's how you get maximum amount of pace out of these F2 cars. So especially with that slow left-hander, if you go in nice and slowly, get on the accelerator nice and early, out of the exit of the corner, you get a nice drag down that middle straight. As Matty does set the slowest lap time of the day so far, but presumably he just gave up and is now going to set another fast lap now. I think we've also got Harley on a lap. Matty's really struggling. I don't know if it's just his setup or he's just not that good around Bahrain, but not a fantastic first chicane. I think we're going to see his Sector 1 time isn't really up to scratch. Yeah, not a great time. 1:31.9 down on his Sector 1 time, but a much smoother downhill section this time for Matty. Around the right hand now, coming up to the corner that he really struggled on his last lap. Is he going to break a touch earlier this time? Let's see what kind of line he takes into the corner. Yeah, see, much better. Slow in, get on that accelerator nice and early. We've got people leaving the session. I hope they're just having a little bit of a connection issue and they can come back, and that's not a problem with the lobby because lobby resets are a nightmare in F2. Looks like they're all joining back anyway. But we should see Matty jump up the leaderboard. I expect to see him in the 39s. He is currently 2.2 seconds up on his time, which presumably he backed off down the straight. He's going to pick up a lot more time down here. Minimum I expect from Matty is to be into the top 4 at this point, with the pace that he's got in his locker. But let's see what he can do. 37s, not in the 38s. Is he going to be in the 39s? Nope, he's going to be in the mid-40s. 40.5 goes 8th. So I know he won't be happy with that. He'll be looking for a little bit more pace. Then we've got Harley, who might be on his lap as well. He's actually up on his time, so he's going to improve into the 39s, 1:39.8 for the high-tech car. Doesn't move positions, but does increase that gap between him and Trip Hines, who is behind him. Everyone else in the pits, 2 cars out on track, both on their in-laps at the moment. And I think roughly with maybe 11 minutes left to go. I'll quickly jump in the Discord to just see if people are talking about connection issues, because a lot of people seem to be lagging out. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, 11 minutes left. That just confirmed that. Got a quick glimpse of it because this yellow flag thing is absolutely stupid. I've been saying since the game came out that they really need to change the UI for spectators. Like, I love the new UI, don't get me wrong, but this yellow flag thing, can you just put it slightly to the right or above the timer so we can keep track of how long is left in the session? Especially when quali wants to be as glitchy as this, where there's just pointless yellow flags everywhere. I also just realised we've got 2 cars on the exact same time. Jim and Tonic and Raz down in 9th and 10th, setting identical times, but obviously Jim and Tonic set his time first, so he gets the position above Raz. That's how it works in Formula 1 rules. We've got cars out on the track this time. I think it might actually be Jim and Tonic, Speak of the Devil, who is going to be next to set his lap. Hopefully all of these connection issues are solved by... Ooh, Matty, naughty there from Matty. He might get a penalty for that. QWERTY's also retired. He's the first retirement, so he's happy with his lap of a 1:38.7. So opportunity there for some of the front runners to maybe nab pole off him. I wouldn't be surprised if Jim and Tonic reports that one and Matty might get in a little bit of a trouble. Just sat in the middle of the track. I don't know if he was expecting Jim and Tonic to go around him, but interesting one to say the least. Hopefully that hasn't affected Jim and Tonic too much through his first lap. He's currently almost a tenth of us down. Something tells me that we're going to have a lobby reset. So people are struggling to get back into the lobby at the moment. Just waiting to see what Travis says. Right, so we're going to have to do a new lobby. Because people unfortunately can't get back into the game, which sucks a little bit, but what can you do? Right, let's get everyone back into the lobby. Let's set up the settings then. So, F2 cars, assist restrictions, turn off them pit assists. Assist, that's fine. Track select's already on Bahrain. Didn't mean to click that again, didn't mean to come out of that. Weekend structure, we're going to do one shot, feature and sprint, 50%. So yeah, 16 and 12 laps, I was right the first time. Weather, dynamic, realistic. Rules and flags. Strict, standard, on. Park firmly on. Simulation settings, 40. Recovery mode, no. Damage, standard. Collisions on, that on. Lovely stuff. Let's hopefully get everyone back in. So apparently the whole lobby was glitched for some people. People were lagging out and couldn't rejoin. Some people apparently had a 12-minute lap time. Others had 10 laps. Others had a 52-second lap time. So we're going to wait for 17 drivers to come back in, and then we will start up. Alright, so I think that's everyone back in, which means we can get underway for a one-shot qualifying this time. So one-shot qualifying is a little bit harder to commentate over as they're all setting laps at the same time, so best thing we're going to do is I'm going to pick a driver at random, we're going to watch their lap, and then we'll just have to see where everyone crosses the line. I think out of respect for the times that they set in the first 20 minutes of full qualifying, we will follow QWERTY. Warning voice chat, love that. Yeah, we will follow QWERTY's lap since he was the fastest man on track in full qualifying. Alright, here we go. Where is our man QWERTY? Let's see if we can try and grab him before the braking zone. Oh, it's too much. There we go, we're on board with him. So, into the first braking zone, we're going to see a lot of movements here. Look at QWERTY just shoot up there. At the moment, though, Sebs is holding on. To provisional pole at the moment. QWERTY's behind him now in P2. So it is QWERTY who is on pole 138.6, so actually matching his time that he set in that qualifying session. Let's see where the rest of the pack qualify. We've got Lam Royale in P2. Only 11 people setting a time. Harley P3, Jim and Tonic P4, Pines P5, The Juicy P6, Matty P7, Replica P8, Night Fever P9, Travis P10, Pete P11. We've also got Plazy P12, Raz P13, Sebs 14th, Harvey 15th, DG Rocker 16th, Lewis the Beast 17th. Okay, we're finally looking like we're getting underway. So I have absolutely no clue what's going on. So some drivers have gone off, some haven't. Right, so I'm just waiting for an invite to another lobby. It's absolutely just broken at the moment. Hence the silence of the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying this F1 background music. I won't carry on disturbing it. I'm just going to wait for an invite. Enjoy the music. As if things couldn't get worse, my batteries are low. Let's hope that my other batteries are on charge. Oh boy, one of them is. Where the fuck is the other one? Oh, there it is. If I randomly go silent mid-sentence, it's because my batteries have run out. They're on charge now, so we might have to do some battery juggling. Oh, we're in. Dubs and pogs all round. Let's hope the lobby actually works. Oh, it does. 28 seconds, and we're finally going to get under racing after like 45 minutes. I got scared for a minute. I saw a light come on. I thought it was no formation lap. There is. Travis has been disqualified. Travis is bad. Matty's been disqualified. Matty is bad. Almost said Travis was bad twice. Right, the silence stops now. After, well, it's coming up to 50 minutes. We're finally going to get the feature race underway. Let's hop on board with QWERTY in that beautiful cinematic camera that never wants to work, because what's the point? Come on, there we go. Okay, here we go. So, 5 lights on ahead of the drivers after a very long wait, and we are away for the feature race in Bahrain. It looks like a good start from Lam Royale, who's going to go side by side with his teammate into turn 1. Are we going to see any late breakers around the inside? Maybe Jim and Tonic, who's just going to hold back for now, and it's actually going to be Lam Royale who is going to almost do the switchback on QWERTY. Round the outside, there's a yellow flag at the back, and that's a spinning Prema. Or no, it's actually Harvey. What a surprise there. Let's take a look. There's Matty going around the outside. I wouldn't be surprised if he's asked to give that position back, actually, because he'd done it on the outside off the track. Yeah, it just looks, and there's Night Fever and Jim and Tonic touching, and that's Night Fever being sent into a half a spin there. We've got Carnage towards the midfield at the moment as Replica Gaming around the inside, of Travis, who isn't going to give this position up just yet in the fight down for Night. He's going to go around the outside. That was an interesting camera. Still going to go side by side into this corner. At the moment, there's a little, I don't know if that was a touch there or just a little bit of a thing. They've got to be careful though. There is someone ghosting. It is Replica who is ghosting. He's actually been hit. I don't know if he's lagging. There's another yellow flag at the back. There's a spin for ZC Hypes. So, 2 spins between Harvey and Hypes on the first lap. There's DG Rocker going straight around the outside of Replica. He is lagged out, so that's why he was ghosted down into that that slow left-hander. Let's hop on board with actually this pop on board with Lam Royale, who's gone from second down into, there's another spin. There's Pete, who has spun at the back, so 3 spins in lap 1. As I was saying, Lam Royale, who started second, is now down in 4th on the back of the Juicy here. Harley's up into second, but already a 2-second gap between QWERTY and Harley. So unless there's a safety car, I think QWERTY is just going to run away with this race now. No DRS for the first 2 laps, remember. So, and that's Lam Royale, who's ghosted now. There's another yellow flag. There's a spin. I think that's for Lewis the Beast out of the final corner. And there's Harley. People are lagging out, I think. Oh, that's just the leaderboard going a little bit crazy. I haven't got a clue. Pete is in the pits, most likely sustained damage from that spin. Harvey's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 position. I have absolutely zero idea what's going on. How could Harvey have corner cut and gained a position when he's in last place? Interesting. Hypes is apparently in first. There's Lam Royale and the Juicy touching, and Lam Royale has been spun. He banged wheels with Harley there. I think the leaderboard is finally sorting itself out at the moment, and there's Harley almost going into the back of the Juicy, who's now lost second place. The Juicy's up into a second. I know it says third, it's just Pete is at the back. There's another yellow flag. That's Harvey, who might have spun again, or that's just yellow flags being stupid. I can't see at all what's going on here. There's Travis getting overtaken by Plazy. He's looking for the switchback though. Be a nice move from Travis if he can make this happen and stick. But Plazy's just going to go steaming around the outsides and retain 8th place at the moment, which is technically 7th. It's just Pete is apparently in first place, and you never know, could end up winning this race. I can't see intervals because the game is broken. Has it fixed itself? I think it's fixed itself. Can I get intervals back, please, game? Intervals would be lovely. There's a yellow flag. There's a spin. That's not for QWERTY, is it? QWERTY is spun. The leader, who is leading by a couple of seconds, has spun. I don't know if he sustained damage, if the cinematic camera would love to work instead of showing me his fecking wheel. Nope, still don't want to work. Nope, okay, well, we're going to just presume he didn't sustain damage because he didn't pit. So the Juicy leads this race now from Harley and Gym and Tonic. QWERTY now fighting with Travis. So close there for Travis going into the left-hand side of QWERTY's car, which would have led to a spin. We've got Matty, who's under pressure now from Plazy, up in 5th place, coming down into turn 4. A nice little train forming, basically from 5th all the way down to something like 12th. So points up for grabs here if there's any mistakes being made. There has been a mistake. There's Harley, who's broken an advertisement board there, goes steaming around the outside and hits Trick Pines. Didn't see a great view of that, but I don't think that was entirely legal from Harley, who came steaming back onto the track after coming off it, and has led to a spin there from Trick Pines. So I don't think he's going to be happy with that, and that will probably be a penalty coming his way from that. But Juicy now leads, got a nice comfortable 1.6 second gap with DRS enabled very shortly down the pit lane straight. We've got QWERTY, who's looking to fight back after his spin this lap. He's on the back of Plazy. Is he going to try and go steaming around the outside of the long right-hander? Chooses to hang back for now. He's just going to wait for that pit lane straight, get that nice DRS, get that nice drag, trying to get a move done into turn 1. That's DG Rocker picking up a 3-second penalty. We've got another yellow flag. We've got a spinner, and I think that is DG Rocker, who just picked up that 3-second penalty, going wide onto the curb and spinning around that long right-hander. We've also got a move here. Maybe, I was thinking from Lam Royale, who tried to make a move into the final corner, but let's hop on board with QWERTY. DRS enabled, but so as the 2 cars ahead as well. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? Is he close enough? Is he going to make a late diver move? There's Matty on Gym and Tonic, and QWERTY's going to follow him down the inside. We've got a great view of both of these. Matty down the inside, QWERTY and Plazy bang wheels. Matty hasn't got the move done yet, and has the brake, and ooh, Matty tried it around the outside, stamped on the brakes to make sure he didn't come into contact with Gym and Tonic, and actually goes straight into him, does QWERTY. Hopefully he didn't sustain damage. It looks like he might have just, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't look like it actually, but it looked like a little bit of carbon fibre came off his car there. So if he didn't sustain damage, it's very, very lucky from QWERTY. Looking maybe to go around the outside. I don't know if he just maybe outbroke himself a little bit there. But Harley's managed to cut into the Juicy's lead by a couple of tenths with another yellow flag. That is, I think, Night Fever, and that's Raz at the back, who's had a spin. And there's Matty, who's had a spin. I don't know if he was tagged there by Plazy or he just lost the car on his own. But Plazy through into 4th. QWERTY is now up side by side. Are they going to make a move up the hill? Here we go. It's going to be close. QWERTY is ahead for now. Up into 5th. Picks up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. We've also got Sebs getting past Travis down in P7. And Harley has really cut that lead out of the Juicy now. It was 1.6 seconds a lap ago. It's now just 6/10, so he's going to have DRS down the main straight. Let's see what we're doing. Quickly just jump on board with Night Fever, because he seems to be right on the back of Travis, who's currently in his AI. So I don't know if he's maybe had an incident, but he's going to lose 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. He's actually been shoved a little bit there from ZC Hypes. Don't think that's exactly his fault. There's someone into the pits. That's QWERTY into pits, who's also just picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding. So his race has just gone from bad to worse. He's now up to 8 seconds worth of penalties. Harley didn't have enough straight line speed down the pit lane straight to make a move on the Juicy that lap. But is he going to be close enough to make a move? He's got DRS down the straight towards turn 4. He's going to go side by side. Is he going to brake later? Jump on cinematic cam to see this one. Harley's got the inside line. Unless the Juicy can get the switch back here, Harley should have the move done and dusted. But Juicy isn't going to fight, isn't going to give this up yet, but does have to concede coming down the hill. Not a great place to go side by side. And Harley into the lead of the Bahrain feature race. The Juicy having to submit that time. Let's jump on board with ZC Hypes, who's on the back of Sebs now in his resurgence of the field after he had a little bit of a moment lap 1, get caught up in traffic. Also started last in this race. We saw that he had pace for maybe being on the front row, but is he going to go round the outside of the long left-hander here? Round the outside. There's always contact when 2 drivers go, but that's actually really well defended from Sebs. But ZC Hypes gets an absolutely mega run out of the final corner, sorry, out of the long left-hander. And ZC Hypes is up into 6th place. Well, we've already seen some drivers come in for their pit stops. Are we going to see another one? Harley staying out. The Juicy is going to come into the pits. Plazy was about to say going to follow him, but just maybe wanted a little bit more of a slipstream off him. Everyone else is staying out. ZC Hype's coming into the pits, making sure not to speed. Lam Royale does end up speeding, so he picks up a 5-second penalty. So lots of penalties coming through now. DG Rocker more than breaks enough to make sure he doesn't get a penalty. Anyone else looking to come into pits? I think these guys are all way at the back. Let's jump on tyres just to see what everyone is on. So there you go, everyone else pitting for those hard tyres. Let's take a look at penalties. Yeah, loads of penalties at the back. Let's stick on tyres for now. Gym and Tonic on the back of Matty in the fight for provisional P3 at the moment. Obviously all these guys most likely going to pit this lap. They wouldn't want to stay out too much longer with those of them who have pitted for hards already and are going to undercut them. Going to have a little bit more pace with these mediums falling off at Bahrain tyre temps, and wear around Bahrain and F2 quite significant compared to other F2 tracks where you can maybe do a nice long run on those medium tyres. We've got fighting at the back. I don't think Gym and Tonic is going to make a move on Matty here. Let's just see what's happening between the Juicy and QWERTY. So this is for the lead of the race provisionally. And QWERTY is ahead of the Juicy by a second already. So QWERTY has made a nice recovery after his spin. And Harley needs an absolutely mega in-lap in order to keep his first position. We've also got Lam Royale on the back of Night Fever. But let's hop on board with the leader at the moment, Harley. As we've seen QWERTY and the Juicy both on those hard tyres putting in a good amount of times. Let's actually get a gap to the leader. It's around 34 seconds at the moment. I don't know if that will be enough or not, but in comes Harley. Make sure not to get a 5-second penalty. Of course QWERTY has got 8 seconds worth of penalties, so that's going to be trouble for him come the end of the race. Matty is going to extend and go for a longer stint on those tyres. Let's hop on board with QWERTY, who is currently the leader of those who have pit stopped. So there's a problem at the back. That's Lam Royale and Night Fever who have come together around the long right hander. Disappointing for those two, but as we see QWERTY now come round the final corner. Harley has made his pit stop change. They're coming out the pit lane now. How close is it going to be? QWERTY's just set the fastest lap of the race. We should see them to the right around about now. And I think he's just about to come out in first place is Harley. He keeps first place, but that gap has come down significantly. Going to be round about under a second now, within DRS range. So a mega stint from QWERTY on those hards. Manages to reduce that gap after that spin that he had, but Harley managing to sustain first place at the moment. He's going to be on 1 lap fresher hard tyres as well. Matty going long, so I guess the pit stop time is around about 34 seconds. So Matty's probably going to come around about somewhere near 6th or 7th. Let's hop on board with Jim and Tony. Was that a spin? That was a spin. We caught it slightly as we were running through the cameras, and that's Plazy Tom, who's had a spin. He's now going to drop down, probably down to 7th here, as maybe Sebs tries around the outside. He's got the momentum. There's another yellow flag. That might be Lethal Pete around the back, who's had a spin coming out of turn 3. QWERTY now all over the back of Harley. This is for the provisional race lead. He's going to go down the inside up the hill. Don't see a lot of overtakes there, but he's made it done, and he's made it happen, and he's done it very clearly as well. QWERTY, so good job for him. He's back in the lead of the race. Matty now the final person to come in to the pits. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. Is Harley going to manage to stick with QWERTY? Looks like he is, so he's going to have DRS down the straight. This is the issue with overtaking anywhere else but down the pit lane straight, because the DRS down here is so strong. Is Harley going to have the pace? We saw he didn't really have the straight line speed to get past the Juicy. QWERTY is going to weave to try and break that slipstream. Harley is gaining on him. He is gaining on him. Is it going to be enough? He's going to need a really late move down the inside. Harley is going to keep his 2nd place for now. QWERTY losing the back end a little bit there, and loses the back end completely for the 2nd time in this race. QWERTY has had a spin, a little bit too aggressive on that accelerator, and all that hard work that he's made up twice now is out of the window, and Harley now regains the lead. There's another spin as well. I think that's Jim and Tonic who's gone off the track. I don't know if he actually had a spin or if he was just pushed off. But QWERTY now down in 5th position. Did he sustain damage? He didn't indeed. Let's have a look at Harley, because I know he hit the back of him as well. No damage for Harley. So the Juicy back into 2nd place. ZC Hypes, really nice drive from him, up into P3 from what was, I believe, 2nd to last. So good stint from him. Here we got Matty on the back of Hypes as well. There's some fighting going on between Jim and Tonic and Sebs. Are we going to see them, another 2 drivers, go side by side down the bottom of the hill? Jim and Tonic takes the widened line. Sebs takes the inside line, which means that Jim and Tonic's going to get a much bigger run down the straight. As we can see, here we go. He's got the extra pace, but clearly not enough. That might be setups coming into play here. They're going to go side by side down now into what I believe is turn 11. Sebs keeps 7th place at the moment. Here we got the ZC Hypes on the back of the Juicy, so close to hitting his rear wing there. He's going to have the pace down the straight, but you don't want to overtake here with the DRS zone coming up. So fully expect to see ZC Hypes break nice and early just to optimise that run out of the final corner. He picks up a 3-second time penalty for just running over that curb a little bit too much. But this should be an easy move from ZC Hypes. He's got that 3-second penalty now. He needs to go catch up Harley and build up a gap if he wants to win this race. But that should be the move done for 2nd place for ZC Hypes. The Juicy shouldn't fight this back. He doesn't. Stays P2. Have we seen any other moves? That was QWERTY tagging the back of Matty. There's Jim and Tonic and Sebs. This fight is still going on in the fight for 6th place. Once again, Sebs just breaking later than Jim and Tonic. Now back up in 7th place, but they've got to be careful because Lewis the Beast is behind them, showing good pace as well. Sebs moves over to one side, is actually going to give a nice slipstream to Lewis the Beast here, who might go diving up the inside into turn 4 of Jim and Tonic. Just holds back for now, maybe to optimise that run, because that's what it is. Jim and Tonic diving a little bit later, just managing to hold on to the position there for 8th place. Lewis the Beast right on the back, so nice 3-way fight. We've got QWERTY and Matty fighting, so QWERTY's got past him, and once again we're about to see a 2nd resurgence from QWERTY in the Charouz car to try and get back into that top 3. He has got that 8-second penalty, remember, so if he is going to do it, he's going to have to build up a nice big gap. And speaking of big gaps, Harley had a gap to the Juicy, but since ZC Hypes has made that move, he's cut it down into 2 seconds. The Juicy already now 1.5 seconds behind ZC Hypes, so Hypes really hunting down this victory now. DG Rocker, 3-second penalty for him. Let's hop back on board with this 3-way fight going on at the moment in the fight for P7. 2 of these positions very important. 8th, of course, gives you the sprint race pole position. Oh, and it's Lewis the Beast just maybe miscalculating his braking point there. Almost going into the back of Jim and Tonic, has to run a little bit wider, and that's going to lose him some time down the penultimate straight. He's still going to have DRS, but so is Jim and Tonic. So we will see if that makes any changes. ZC Hype setting the fastest lap of the race. Let's quickly see if QWERTY can maybe make a move on the juicy down the straight. Is he going to be close enough? He's gaining on him quite rapidly. I don't think he's going to be close enough. He is going to be close enough. He's going to go diving up the inside. If he can make it stick, what a move it will be. But there's the juicy coming straight back at him with the switchback and keeps third place. Meanwhile, Jim and incredible. I did say before the race that my controllers was lower battery. Just as we were watching the fight into turn 1, they decide to run out. I need to request Matty, who does the TikToks, to do the old Lance Stroll meme there. Going into turn 1, my controller disconnects. It just cuts to Crofty going, "What has happened? We need to know." I need that in my life. Plazy picks up a 3-second penalty just to cover up. So Sebs did manage to keep 6th place, but he might be under pressure here. Who went super late. Late braking into the left-hander, which means Jim and Tonic might have a run down in the inside. Sebs has done really well in defending this position so far, but I don't think he's going to be able to defend it for much longer. But he gets the switch back down the inside, up the hill. They're going side by side. They bang wheels slightly. Best view here will be on Lewis the Beast's onboard. Jim and Tonic just ahead. Sebs is around the outside. He's going to go diving up the inside, though, this time. There's a yellow flag at the back. I think that might be DG Rocker, who's had a spin. And Sebs is back ahead of Jim and Tonic. What a move from Sebs. He's going to be under a lot of pressure now. Here comes Lewis the Beast. Jim and Tonic might lose 2 positions in 2 corners. The issue for Sebs now is he's not going to have DRS. There's a little bit of banging the wheels. Proper banging the wheels there. There's QWERTY, who's had another spin, bless him. The Charouche driver has had 3 spins in this race. What has gone on here? ZC Hypes has taken the lead over Harley. Harley might try and back around the inside. ZC Hypes is just going to cover him off. He's going to have DRS though. I know there's going to be a fight down the straight. I apologise, but this is the fight for the leads. We've got to watch it. Is Harley going to go diving up the inside? He's going to hang back for now. And there's a spin for Plazy, who's gone completely off the track. He's Mazapinned it out of turn 3. He's going to have to wait for these drivers to come ahead. There is Seb from Lewis the Beast from Jim and Tonic. Are we going to see a dive down into turn 4? Here's Jim and Tonic, who might try up the inside of Lewis the Beast, just hanging on to 6th position at the moment. What a fight these 3 have had, certainly for the last 5 laps. Seb going a little bit deep there. We've seen a couple of times Seb misjudge his braking point and almost losing it here. He lost this here last lap, and he's almost done it again, actually. He has done it again. Lewis the Beast switches right ahead of him. He's also got DRS as well, so it's a perfectly calculated move there from Lewis the Beast up into 5th place. Making use of Sebs once again for the 2nd lap. He's going to go diving up the inside. Sebs is really aggressive, and it's great to see, because a lot of drivers there, you just say hang back, wait for the DRS zone. Sebs doesn't need that, but that's not what we need, is Sebs and Lewis the Beast coming together. It's always difficult going side by side up the hill, because one might just try and run ahead of you. But Lewis the Beast has spun, so that's the unfortunate end to this 3-way battle, as Plazy has recovered to get past Jim and Tonic up into 6th position. So Seb has now got a little bit of comfortability up into P5, but who knows what the stewards will have to say about that decision. He might have a penalty coming his way, or maybe it was just Lewis the Beast understeering into the Carlin car. We've got Harley, who has been overtaken for the lead as we saw last lap, but ZC Hypes hasn't managed to drop him just yet. Harley just trying to stick with him, keep in that DRS zone. We've also got Jim and Tonic getting back past Plazy, but they're going to go side by side all the way down the straight in the run into turn 4. They've got to be careful though, because here comes Lime Royale, who was thinking maybe for a second to go 3 abreast, and that is the 2. I was about to say, yeah, that's Lime Royale hitting the back of Jim and Tonic and sending him into a mini spin. So he's lost about 3 seconds of race time there, so not ideal from Lime Royale, who maybe just saw a gap and tried to go for it, but it was just quickly shut by the Premier driver, and that allows his teammate QWERTY to go through up into 8th. Let's hop on board with Harley for the fight for the lead. We've got 4 laps to go of this race. ZC Hypes leading at the moment, but Harley hasn't dropped off him yet. He's still going to be within DRS zone unless Harley has a really bad last 2 corners. We've seen that he's probably not running the most optimum straight line speed from trying to overtake 2 drivers already this race. We can see that gap is coming up. He should still have DRS, but I don't think he will be close enough to make a move down this pit lane straight. ZC Hypes jumping onto that curb to maximise turning and get on that accelerator as early as possible down the straight. 9 tenths in it at the moment. DRS active for Harley. How close is he going to get? We're going to see that time come tumbling down, but come tumbling down nowhere near as quickly as we thought. So I think that's just a testament of Harley running a much higher downforce setup, which might be why he's managing to hold on to ZC Hypes around the second sector. I wouldn't be surprised if Hypes manages to lose him out of his DRS this lap. There's a spin at the back. I think that would be for Replica, who's had a struggle around the long right hand on no one close enough to make a move into turn 1 this lap, which is a surprise. Oh, here we go, Lewis the Beast on Night Fever, recovering from that spin. Down the inside is Lewis the Beast, but Night Fever around the outside gets the inside line for turn 2 up into turn 3, and Night Fever managing to hold on to 12th at the moment, but picks up a 3-second penalty just for that little corner cut, or track extension more, because you know track extensions are stupid in this game. So Lewis the Beast managing to stay in 13th at the moment, can't get the move done on Night Fever this lap, but maybe next lap will be a move. We've also got Travis, who's trying to pick up the last few points of the race up against Trick Pines, who's had a little bit of a snap there, but so is Travis. I think that's just a testament to these hard tyres dropping off a little bit come towards the end of the race. Let's see QWERTY on his, fourth resurgence of the race now on the back of Gym and Tonic. This is the fight for 7th, currently in provisional pole for the sprint race. There's a spin at the back for DG Rocker, and there's a virtual safety car because of it. Has he crashed out, or has he just lost his front wing? I think he's just lost his front wing, so there must be some debris on the track. So we have a virtual safety car. No full safety car, thankfully. Which is always lovely to see, because safety cars in F2 are just very common. Let's see how long this VSC stays alongside the drivers for. Harley's got to make sure that he stays within that second gap, because if the VSC ends and he's still on the outside of that 1 second DRS zone from ZC Hypes, he's not going to have DRS. Let's just have a quick check on penalties. We see Lam Royale come into the pits as well. So ZC Hypes has got a 3-second penalty, so as long as Harley stays within that 3-second gap, he's actually going to end up winning this race. QWERTY's up to 11, so there's practically no chance for really decent points for him unless he can really build up a major gap now. But a great opportunity for some of these drivers to gain some positions, especially towards the back, the likes of Travis and Lam Royale and Pete, who all haven't got penalties. If they can just rebuild these gaps, have a nice mega stint for these last 3 laps, who knows what could happen. The VSC has ended, and Seb picks up a 20-second time penalty for speeding under VSC. Obviously, usually it's a drive-through penalty, but because we're so late into the race, drive-throughs are just converted to 20 seconds. So Seb's, who was in a good position to really get up there in the standings, we see him and Plazy get their elbows out down the long left-hander. He's now got a 20-second worth of penalties, so that's pretty much his chance of points in this race over. But he's still going to fight this position because he wants track position. You know, usually we've just let Plazy go, who might have just actually hit the back of him. We've already seen one driver spin go side by side with Seb's up the right-hander here. Not close enough to make a move this time, but someone who might be close enough soon is Gym and Tonics and QWERTY, all on the back. And there's QWERTY, who's had a mini spin, but he's managed just to Tokyo drift it around the corner and sort of hold it. He's probably lost about 4/10 in that. But that would have been a 4th spin of the race from QWERTY if he had lost the back end there completely. But Seb's is going to be in trouble here. He's got 3 drivers behind him, all with DRS, but we've seen that his defence is actually pretty good. Whether some will deem it as legal or fair is a different story. But Seb's is just going to look to hang on. Is he going to go the inside or outside? He's going to defend the outside line, because here comes Plazy. Is he going to try and brake later? But Seb's has just turned in on him. I don't know if that's necessarily legal. Maybe should have left him a little bit more space here, but goes wide. But here comes Plazy now. Is he going to try and dive up the inside? If I was Plazy, I would not be kind about this move at all on Seb's. I'd be as aggressive as I can. There's more contact between them, and there's a little bit more contact as he hits the back of Plazy. Interesting defence there from Seb's. I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't end this race with a penalty from the stewards, with the contact that he had with Lewis the Beast and some contact that he's had with Plazy. But Gym and Tonic gets past him as well. He's also got QWERTY on the back of him now. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. We'll stick it on penalties for now, so we try and engage. But there's Seb's, for the 3rd time this race that I've seen, misjudged the braking point, and that allows Gym and Tonic to go right through. But we know about Seb's, he likes a late dive down the inside. Is he going to go for it again? I'll tell you what, I think he was thinking about it. He broke a lot later than Gym and Tonic. At 6th place it is now. Plazy really struggling to get past Seb as Replica picks up another 3-second penalty. Come the final lap, we'll watch this fight while trying to gauge it. There's QWERTY going up the inside of Plazy for 7th place, and he's had another spin. I don't think that was Plazy's fault. I think that was just QWERTY losing the back end. But he has reset the track. 10th place for QWERTY. It's going to be a lot lower after penalties. Sebs is coming into the pits, presumably to serve a penalty. His pit crew are coming out, so I don't know if he thinks he maybe got a drive through, even though he got a 20-second penalty. But that's his race pretty much over, and that's pretty much everyone's race over with the gaps now. So let's try and gauge what has happened. Unfortunately for Harley, he picked up a 3-second penalty, but was also out of 3-second range from Hypes. So that is the race win pretty much for ZC Hypes from last place. Absolutely mega drive from him. Harley should sustain 2nd place. Juicy will be in 3rd. Matty will be in 4th. Gym and Tonic will be in 5th. Plazy should keep 6th. Trick Pines will drop back behind Travis and most likely take the sprint pole position. And then it should be Lewis the Beast from maybe Harvey, maybe Night Fever. We'll have to see what the gaps are like on pens after the race. But let's hop on board with ZC Hypes, who's had an absolutely mega race. Ran into trouble in turn 1 of lap 1, had a bit of a spin coming into the low left hander trying to get through the pack, but he's recovered fantastically on strategy. He's gone from last to first. ZC Hypes is going to go around the penultimate corner now as we see Pete have troubles. He's going to cross the line as the feature race winner for Bahrain in F1ABEEZ. Harley is going to cross the line in P2. It's a very nice job from him. I think he'll be happy with P2. The Juicy will get P3. Matty P4. We're going to see Gym and Tonic around the final corner now. He comes out on top of that freeway fight between Lewis the Beast and Seb. He gets 5th place. Plazy has hit the back of him and spun, but he's crossed the line anyway. Trick Pines crosses the line in 7th, but he will be knocked down to 8th. Travis getting 7th. QWERTY down in 10th. Lewis the Beast gets 9th. And QWERTY managing to keep 1 point despite that penalty. Harvey will cross the line and go 12th. So that's pretty much the end. I don't think Lam Royale was close enough to make up any positions. No, he wasn't. He'll stay 13th. There's Sebs with 23 seconds worth of penalties. He will most likely finish, I think 16th is most likely. So on to the sprint race we go. 12 laps of the sprint race. Yeah. This. So we're having our third lobby reset because obviously when you have a custom grid for F2, the game isn't intelligent enough to realise, oh hang on, I need to swap the top 8 around. It just starts with the exact same custom grid that the lobby starts with. So we're waiting on a new lobby. Alright, for our third reset. I thought we were in a 25% feature, but we're not. So everyone's just gonna be chaotic for this feature race because everyone's just gonna DNF and move straight onto the sprint. I would absolutely love to see this start. So here we go for the feature race. Travis leads. There's Carnage. We've got Harvey there going into the back. Who's going to get straight lines? People going off. Everyone's completely misjudged their braking point. There's Carnage at the back. The Juicy is there. We've got 4 cars that have Plazy diving into the pits. We've got about 4 deaths. The marshals don't know what to do. The safety car is out. Everyone is slowing down. We've got people absolutely thing. There's Raz absolutely dying. We've got Harvey still out, but Night Fever leads the race. What an incredible start from him. He's going to warm up his tyres to make sure he's absolutely optimum for this safety car restart. But there's Lamb Royale diving into him. He actually takes out the brake points. There's Harley stopping. But Lamb Royale currently in the lead. He has got that penalty though, unfortunately, which might affect him towards the end of the race. Night Fever down in second now after that contact. But there's Harley and Night Fever banging wheels under the safety car. Nothing that you like to see. Really poor sportsmanship from these two. Harvey's just going to sit back and watch it unfold, which is good for him. Night Fever has stopped. Lamb Royale is just going to drive through and be like, you know what, thank you guys, I'm going to take first place. Here comes Harley. You go smashing into him, losing his wheel, and that's a really embarrassment from Harley. You don't want to be invalidating or DNFing under the safety car. That's really embarrassing him for from a racing point of view. But only 3 drivers left out of turn 1. This just shows the carnage that can happen on the feature race. And there's Night Fever going straight into the back of Harvey. Absolutely not what you want to see at all. More penalties under the safety car. We've got Travis now, who I think is retired, so he's not going to be in this at all actually. Harvey hitting him and spinning out an already dead car. Harvey has done a Grosjean and has hit the wall of his own volition. We've got Night Fever now, who has spun around completely. Lam Royale has come through out in first place, and there's all the retirements, which means we're not actually going to get a winner of this feature race. which is very surprising. I'm surprised if any of these cars or drivers keep their contracts in Formula 2 after this, what has been an absolute disgrace towards motor racing. But we've still got one more race to look forward to after this, so that's always fantastic to see. But there's confirmation of Lamb Royale winning the feature race. One absolutely stellar drive from him, a class above the field. Look at that, 29 seconds faster than P2 Harvey, who comes home in second. We've got Harley, P3, Replica Gaming, P4. What's a drive from him? 16th on the grid to 4th. Absolutely mega drive from that Campos driver. So into the sprint race we go. Let's hope we're going to get equal amounts of drama and carnage in this 12-lap sprint. No pit stops necessary. Everyone on the hard compound tyres in a rundown towards the end of the race. Half points available. Top 8 has been flipped, so which means we should see someone on pole. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, so I was kind of waiting for the grid. We could just have a quickly check. We should see Trick Pines on pole position. Let's see if we're going to see as many drivers mess up their braking zones into turn 1. Here's hoping we don't, because we lost, I think it was about 12 drivers just through turn 1 alone. It's a very difficult braking point. You know, it's hard to judge whether you brake at 150 metres, 100 metres, 50 metres, or indeed 0 metres. And at that point, you're braking off the track and going straight into the barrier. So we'll see what we can do. QWERTY's already been disqualified. He's keeping up the pattern of spinning and being an absolute embarrassment this weekend. Things you absolutely love to see. Travis, P2, we've got a car getting a little bit tasty off the start of the formation lap. There's Jim and Tonic. He's up into first place. Might be the only first place he gets all season under the formation lap. Big up Jim and Tonic. He is through. I don't know why I've suddenly gone to just being absolutely just brilliant. I hope you're all enjoying this as much as I am. Absolutely incredible race. Replica Gaming has left. Matty's just oh, F1ABEEZ, F2, guys. You know what? I've got my dinner sitting here that's going cold. I'm going to take a bite of this one. The rest of this formation lap plays out. We have now been streaming for 101 minutes. just for epoxy qualified feature in sprint race. We've got about 17,000 resets. One thing that hopefully won't be reset is the 5 lights. They're out. We're away in the sprint race. Trick Pines gets away fairly well, but I think Travis has just got the better start. I mean, who's had a mega start is Plazy. They're going to go 3 abreast into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? We got Travis on the inside, Plazy in the middle, and there's Trick Pines on the outside. Here's Plazy, who's losing out. Travis comes out at turn 3 in the lead of the race. Absolutely mega start from him. We've just got the Juicy in the other HWT down in P4. Is he going to be opportunistic on the brakes down to turn 4? We've got Matty trying to go around the outside of ZC Hypes, losing positions instead to Lewis the Beast at the back. We've got Harvey down in P10. I've suddenly got burps. I think you'd love to see this. The Juicy spinning. The Juicy going to the Juicy. He's absolutely destroyed some polystyrene barriers as well. There's a yellow flag, but Harvey's going to go diving up the inside of Matty. Thank you very much. Lovely jubbly up into 7th place. And Matty actually might lose his position to his teammate as well. They're going to go side by side down the long left-hander. Who's going to come out on top? There's a Red Bull. It's a Red Bull. It's a Carlin off the track completely. That was Harvey misjudging his braking point. But he's going to come back at his teammate here. Maybe as well. There's drama at the top. Here's Plazy and Trick Pines going side by side into turn 11. Around the long left-hander they go. Trick Pines is going to come out behind Plazy. There's a yellow flag out the back. I think that's just the remnants of whatever was left from the Juicy's car that's fallen off. Plazy still in 2nd place. Replica picks up a 3-second. Somehow cut 3 corners in the space of like 12 corners. That's pretty hilarious. We've also got Jim and Tonic on the back of Trick Pines. I've forgotten his name for a minute there. They're going to go side by side into the final corner. No DRS, so this is actually a really nice corner to overtake. He's gone straight around the outside. Love to see it from Jim and Tonic, and there's trouble brewing for Trick Pines because look, he's been absolutely swamped. Call him Shrek because this is his swamp. ZZ Hype's now up ahead of him. He's also got his teammate Lewis the Beast coming around him as well. They're going to go diving into turn 1 round the outside. Is looking for Lewis the Beast around ZC Hypes. He is ghosted on my screen. I don't know if he's ghosted for everyone else. The lobby is having an absolute fit. Someone call an ambulance. The ZC Hypes is ahead of Trick Pines, and that is Harley now ahead of Lewis the Beast, who's lost positions massively because there's Harvey. He's going to go looking, diving up the inside of the dabs of Harley, who is somehow in the space of a feature race and sprint race switched cars. Don't know how legal that is in the F2 rules, but we'll have to wait and see to see what anyone says about that. Meanwhile, let's see what else is happening. Plazy has somehow got a lap down to Travis. That's either a mega drive from Travis, or Plazy's had an absolute nightmare. 1 lap down in the space of 3 laps. He's had an absolute stinker. Here comes Lewis the Beast, maybe trying to outbrake Harley, and there's Harvey having a little bit of trouble. Harley and Harvey try and say that very quickly. You end up with a tongue twister. Let's see if Harvey can hold off Harley. That's just incredible to say. Around the left-hander now, coming up the hill. Who else is very close? Oh, and there's CC Hypes going around the inside of Gin and Tonic. He's going to need a Gin and Tonic after that move to try and recover from that. Absolutely muggage from Hypes on Gin and Tonic. Around the long right-hander, he's up into 3rd place. This time, Harley still on the back of Harvey. Trick Pines now maybe trying to make a move on Gin and Tonic, who'd be a little bit drunk after that move. In P4, coming down the straight, they should have DRS this lap as well. Harvey's picked up a corner cutting penalty, naughty from him. We've seen people try and break that slipstream. I've got a burp coming on. I'm trying to hold it in. Plazy now 1 minute and 43 seconds down from Travis, even though he's making a move into turn 1 right now. He's got the inside line, but Travis is going to have the inside line into turn 2, nicks the curb, which means he's going to lose all drive out of the corner. Travis managing to hold on, but here comes CC Hypes. He's already mugged off 1 driver today. Is he about to mug off a 2nd one in the run down towards turn 4? Plazy's going to try and move over to the right hand side, but CC Hypes is going to be later on the break. Has to be careful not to hit the back of the leader there, and just managing to hold on to 2nd place for now. I need a drink because my throat is hurting. Alrighty, we back, and I've missed it. No, ZC Hypes has absolutely mugged off the league owner Travis. Someone catch that in 4K and send it to him. Absolutely lovely stuff. So Hypes is back into the lead. Is he going to record a back-to-back win in the feature and sprint? But Travis has got to be careful, because here comes Plazy, whatever you want to call him. I call him Plazy, and it pisses him off. But they bang wheels and they've spin. Plazy's been hit again. He's been absolutely collected. He's been punted by Gin and Tonic. Someone get the drunk driver off the road. That's absolute nightmare for Plazy, who's gone from 2nd all the way down now to 9th. Not ideal from him, but here comes Harley. They're going to go 3 wide. Harley. Who's going to come out into turn 1? But here comes Trip Pines down into... He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. But there's Harley. Got to be careful not to touch Gin and Tonic, who's absolutely weaving down the straight. He's definitely over the limit, but Harley's ahead of Harvey. Harvey behind Harley. We've got Trick Pines, who's still trying to get past Harvey as well. But Gin and Tonic's had a little bit of a moment there, because here comes Harley down into turn 4. Who's going to make the move? It's going to be Harley down the inside of Gin and Tonic. Who's going to come out on top? I think it's going to be Harley. It is going to be Harley. Harvey's got past Trick Pines. It's P5. Lewis the Beast on the back of Trick Pines now. Harvey's hit the back of Gin and Tonic. Not good for him. There's a spin at the back. I think that might have been for Lam Royale. No, it was for Quercy, actually. What a surprise. That takes his spin counter up to 5 for the weekend. Harvey looking around the outside of Gin and Tonic. Got to get past the drunk driver as quickly as possible, because Harley is up ahead and he needs to stay with him. They're going to go side by side down the long left-hander. Pushes Gin and Tonic onto the curb. And there's someone being opportunistic down the inside. Who was that? Trick Pines, Mr. Tree himself. He's got to be careful, because his teammate Lewis the Beast is going to come riding upside, and there's someone who's pulled out to the right. That's Harley. Don't know what's happened there, but here comes Harley. Harvey coming around the long left-hander, but they've got to be careful, because Gin and Tonic, the drunk driver, is still there. He will punt you off if he has to. He is well over the limit there. Harley ahead of Harvey around the long right-hander now in the fight for P3. I'm absolutely losing my mind, as you can probably tell. Let's see what's happening behind. We've got Mr. Tree Man, who's under pressure from Plazy, who's recovering. We've got Matty down at the back as well, trying to make up some positions. But Harvey right at the back of Harley. Harvey coming through the final corner. There's a little bit of contact there with Harley and Harvey down into the final corner, but they're going to come to down the straight now. Harley's going to move over to the right to try and block off that slipstream from Harvey, but Harvey's going to say, do you know what, Harley, I'm going to make the move into turn 1. But there's Lewis the Beast coming steaming up the inside. Where did he come from, lad? They're going to go 3 abreast into turn 1. Harvey's punting Harley into Gin and Tonic. Harvey's gone wide into Harley out of turn 1, and that means Lewis the Beast has just gone, thank you very much, mate, I'm going to come into turn 1. Absolutely madness there from Harvey coming down the straight and into turn 1, which puts Harvey up into P4. Harley's down in P6. There's been a spin. Plazy's off for another spin. Unlucky lad. Disappointed for a bit, but here comes Seb. Mr. Seb, Sebastian Vettel down the inside into turn 1. That's not turn 1, that's turn 4. Get it right. Matty P7. Trick Pines looking up the inside, but he's had a little bit of a spin. Try not to collect anyone. He's absolutely punted into Matty. Matty's gone nom to that side of that fucking car. Unlucky there, Matty. There's a yellow flag down the bottom of the hill down into sector 2. Not what you want to see. That puts Lewis the Beast up into 3rd place. Harvey up into 4th. We've got Sebastian Vettel, Mr. Sebs in P5. We've got Harley, who's recovered from that little bit of contact, in P6. We've got Gin and Tonic, P7. We've got Night Fever getting past Matty. Come on, Matty, you can get past the man who's on Night Fever. It's not the night time yet. It's only 9 PM. Come on, you can get past him. Make it Day Fever. The Juicy and Trick Pines going side by side down the straight. The Juicy up into 10th, and there's Raz, who's come out of absolutely nowhere in the UNI car to get past Trick Pines. Mr. Tree Man must have damage. Yes, he's missing a left end plate. He's got to be careful not to understeer into Plazy around the long right hander. He's dropped right back. That's pretty much the end of his race. Not fantastic to see at the moment. We've got Harley on the back of Seb into the final corner now. Wants to get a nice exit out of the final corner to make it past him coming into turn 1. DRS enabled for the Rams car. Here comes Harley against Seb. Is he going to go left or right? He's pulled over to the right. Should have enough speed to get past him, but we know Seb likes to really brake late. And there you go, once again, he ain't giving this up yet. Come on, Harley, he's gone for the switchback. No, he hasn't. He's trying to stick it around the outside, which gives him the inside line. They're literally locked wheels. Here comes Gin and Tonic. Seb's has come off the track. The Gin and Tonic should have a nice run. Look at the speed Gin and Tonic has got. Gin and Tonic, here it is. Get these two a drink, because they need it. They might go 3 abreast into turn 4. He's going to try around the outside. Surely this is going to end in contact. He's gone wide to try and maybe get another run. But there's Plazy and Sebs. They're banging wheels. They're fighting. He's just driven off the track. Cuts in front of him. Has to be careful, Gin and Tonic, not to get cut there. But Harley up into P5. Seb's P6. Gin and Tonic 7th. We've got a battle at the fight. Matty still hasn't turned Night Fever into Day Fever yet in P8. That's the final point position, remember, in 8th place. So big move needed from Matty to get points in this race. Seb's still holding on to the back of Harley. Got to be careful there. He doesn't really know where to brake for this corner. He's just sort of picking a spot saying, I like that spot. I'm going to keep braking there every single lap, even though I keep outbraking myself in the corner. Lewis the Beast on the back of Travis in the fight for P2. Both in a podium position, but Lewis the Beast wants a little bit more points. Travis is all over the place, coming around the right-hander. Got to be careful here because Lewis the Beast is right on the down the inside behind him now. Was thinking he was going to go for a move down the inside, but didn't. Holding back now for DRS down the pit lane straight. ZC Hypes is frolicking with the fairies up ahead. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to chill out in first place. I'm going to say hello to my family out on the left. You see that British flag? That's where all my family is sitting. Hello to you guys. Hope you're enjoying the race, because here comes Lewis the Beast in the fight for P2. He's going to have the DRS. He's got the DRS, sorry. He's going to go steaming around the right-hand side of Travis. Is he going to try and late braking move to try and retain the position? He is round the outside. Remember, the outside of turn 1 gets you the inside of turn 2, but Lewis the Beast just staying ahead of him now. Nice move. The Juicy's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Travis is off in the gravel. That's not going to help his positions. We've got Harvey now catching up with this fight, despite him having a penalty. We've got Night Fever and Matty fighting. It's sort of like Twilight Fever at the moment between these two. Can't decide which one they want to go for. Matty's still struggling to get past the UNI car for that final points position of the sprint race. No real things, but Night Fever's had a bit of a moment, and so has Matty. He's gone, you know what, you'll have a moment, I'll have a moment, pal. Let's make it equal. Still behind him, but because of that, Night Fever has picked up a 3-second penalty. Not great for him. He'll become Morning Fever after that, because Matty coming diving down the inside. He's gone, I'm not staying behind you any longer. It's daytime now, pal. Round down to the long left-hander. Is he going to make a move down the inside? Here we go, around the outside. They do bang wheels, and Night Fever is back into 8th place. Nice move there. A little bit of wheel banging. Nothing wrong with that. Love to see it. Sebs is still on the back of Harley within DRS range. Doesn't want to lose him yet. And now Harvey is within DRS range of Travis. Gone for 113 minutes now for those of you who've just joined us and saying, why have we been streaming for almost 2 hours and we're only about just over halfway through the sprint race? It's because Cody's are awful. That's the reason why. And because, you know, game mechanics, because you can't set a custom grid for both sprint and feature, because, you know, why would anyone want that? Travis has had an absolute stinker out of the penultimate corner. He might lose the position to here to Harvey. We've already seen contact with Harvey into turn 1. Is he going to go left or right? He should go right. There's more space there. He's gone steaming around, and Travis is going to lose another position into turn 1 unless he can be a little bit more aggressive on the brakes. This time, it looks like Harvey is going to keep the position unless Travis is going to be like, you know what, I'm still here, mate. Harvey up into P3. Travis loses that final podium position, but he's going to come back at it. Look at the lovely run that Travis has got out of turn 3. He's got the DRS range now. Harvey's going to have the inside line. Travis is going to have the outside line. Who's going to come out on top? Travis is going to go steaming around the outside, but here comes Harvey. They're going to go side by side down the hill. Is anyone going to submit? No, they're not. They're going to still go wheel to wheel. Things you love to see. Harvey and Travis still fighting. Travis has got P3 back. It's Harvey going to try diving down the inside. Nope. Travis back into P3. Lovely, lovely stuff from those two. Matty's still unable to get past Night Fever. Maybe he should take some sleeping tablets to help him get through it. No one likes a fever at night time, keeping you up all night, and this is something that will be keeping Matty up all night if he can't get past the UNI car. But there's one way to get past him, just punting him off the track. It's the back of him there. Night Fever managing to stay on the track, so that's not one way we want to see this fight ending. We want to see a nice clean move from Matty, maybe getting past Night Fever. We've got Harvey still on the back of Travis, who seems to get a much better run than the HWT car ahead of him through that long right-hander, and he's going to be close enough once again to make a move into turn 1. 10 seconds now, the gap between ZC Hypes. He could stop and have a biscuit if he wanted to, and he would still come out in first place. 2/10 now separates Harvey and Travis. 3-second penalty for Raz. That is not Razzie at all. Travis losing the back end a little bit there, almost going into Harvey. That wouldn't have been good. Now down the pit lane straight, it's going to be DRS for Harvey. A much easier move this time, surely, unless Travis wants to go, you know what, here's my elbows, mate. I'm going to start poking it in your backside if you carry on. Travis is still going to go round the outside, trying to get the inside line for turn 2, but much easier move this time for Harvey up into P3. But we saw Travis get a much better run down towards turn 4 last time. I think he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again, Jeff. He's going to go up the inside line. Is he going to brake later? No, he's just going to hang back. Come on, Travis, get your nose in there, lads. You could have made that move stick. We've got Jim and Tonic on the back of his Premier teammate Sebs. Sebastian Vettel not spinning this time, very unlike him, Mr. Spinala himself. But his teammates right behind him now in the fight for 6th place. We're going to get back on board with Travis, though, trying to get back past Harvey after losing that position for P3. But he's almost had a spin, just managing to catch it as well. So decent little spin there, a little bit of a backhand spinach from Travis, but manages to hold on. He's still got P4 in the bag at the moment, but here comes Harley. He can spot his nemesis Harvey just up ahead after those two had contact. Harley. He's got to get past Travis in 3 laps. But Lewis the Beast and Hype's just in a world of their own. There's Sunday driving up ahead. This is the thing. There's Gin and Tonic getting past Sebs, but Sebs going for the switchback. Lovely jubbly there from Sebs in the Prema car, losing the position to Gin and Tonic. But he's like, mate, I'm just going to turn a little bit more left, and he's got past him, back up into 6th place. Track extends a little bit there. We'll probably get awarded. There's a yellow flag at the back. I think that's just Trick Pines. Mr. Tree. He's probably just ran into a tree. Unlucky for him. We're going to hop back on board with Harley. Travis has now fallen out of DRS of Harvey, which means it might be a chance for Harley to make a move on Travis to get on the back of Harvey. Turn 1 is coming up, but DRS for Harley. He's going to take the inside line this time. Well, outside more, but inside of Travis. Yeah, left of Travis. Got to be careful not to tap him there. Harley is through up into 4th place. He's now fighting his arch nemesis. Gin and Tonic is through. The drunk driver is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That's how much that Sebastian Vettel's career has fallen off. He's just been overtaken by a drunk driver. Is he going to make a move? Of course he's going to make a move. It's Sebs. He knows he likes a late move. There you go, once again sticking his nose in wherever he can. Call him Gonzo. Trying to fight for 6th place at the moment. But Jim and Tonic holding on to 6th at the moment. We've got Travis, who hasn't managed to drop back off Harley yet, which is good for him. But he's had another little mini spin out that corner. He loves that spin in that corner. Must have some family running as a steward on that right-hand side on that corner. Seb's still on the back of his teammate. Surely he's not. I know he likes a good dive down the inside. He's not going to dive down the inside of that corner, is he? He loses the back end a little bit. Trying not to tap the back of his teammate. That would have been naughty. But still in 7th place. He should just manage to hang around with him enough to get DRS down the pit lane straight. Someone who might have DRS down the pit lane straight if he doesn't absolutely bottle this sector, as we see him lose the back end again, is Travis, who might actually just fall out of DRS range. He's around about 8 tenths, needs to nail this corner and now the final corner with the DRS detection zone at the end of this straight. I think he will still have DRS. That's just a testament to show how much downforce Harley must be running into the top line speed, because even without DRS, Travis has gained around 2 tenths on him. Oh, I wouldn't mind a nice Harley-Harvey fight on the final lap. But we've got 2 laps to go left of this race. We've got the 2 Premas. We might as well just jump on board with Sebs, because it doesn't matter how close he is to the drunk driver. He's going to make a move. Is he going to go left? Jim and Tonic invites him to go left, but weaves back to the right. Is he going to go left or right? He's going to go right. Diving up the inside. They bang wheels. These two like a good banging, these do. Sebs is going to have the inside. He's just cut in front of Gin and Tonic to make sure he can sustain that position into P6. Lovely stuff. Matty still on the back of Night Fever, but this could be the moment that he's taken some paracetamol. He's no longer got fever. It's not Night Fever, it's Night Dancing for Matty. He's going to try dancing around the outside of Night Fever. He's going to. There's a little bit of shoving there off the track. A little bit naughty there from Night Fever. I've just crashed.